Hello? Okay. My internet go out? What? I guess we'll go in the drop zone now. I don't know what's going on with MW2, but for some reason, every time I started MW2, my internet would go out. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know. Maybe it's just coincidence. So today I had a little bit of an issue. Today I realized that I am probably one of the worst family members a person could have. You see, I'm extremely forgetful of very important things. Like, I even know I am. I'm not in denial. Like, there are many— well, oh no, please God, don't do this to me. I just want to be able to play some video games while I talk about this. I tend to forget a lot of things, and I know I'm going to forget things. That's the worst part. I try my best not to forget, but I always end up doing it. Like 100% when I talked about that one Jev song that Cass Theater made, I said I'm probably gonna forget to put it in the description, and guess what I did? I forgot to put it in the description. I mean, I remembered a couple hours later, but yeah, there was like a top comment with like 2,000 thumbs up. It was like, Jev, guess what's not in the fucking description? I know. So with that being said, I'm pretty bad at remembering like people's birthdays, people's ages, just all of that stuff in general. It's just something I don't really keep note of. I don't know what happens. Shit, there are some times where I still say that I'm 19 years old. I don't know why. It's like I genuinely enjoyed being 19 for whatever reason. And when people ask me, I'm like, not 22. So with me being so forgetful, I'm an awful person when it comes to getting presents for people. Sometimes I really have to plan it out to actually make it worthwhile. Or at least so I don't forget or flake out and just get late. I don't know. And it's really bad too because it makes me look like a complete asshole. Like, it makes it look like I just don't care at all or whatever. The worst part about the whole thing is that like people just assume that like I just don't care about them or something like that because I don't remember their birthday or something. It's like scarred into people's heads that like this is a really important thing to remember, just like socially it is. And me, I never really got in the groove of doing that. I don't know. The only reason I could remember my ex-girlfriend's birthday was because it was on Christmas. That's it. If it wasn't some sort of like holiday that a lot of people celebrated, I wouldn't have even known. I wouldn't remember. So with that said, me being forgetful, I ended up receiving a text message the other day from one of my aunts that says, hey, don't forget your cousin's birthday. It's gonna be in a couple days. Have you gotten a present yet? And all this other stuff. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I totally gotten a present. I got it all planned out. It's good. In 2 days, I need to be there with some sort of present. So I decided, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm dressed. I smell good. I look decent. So I'm just gonna go out to the mall and look for some sort of present, okay? And I was like, I didn't want to get something that was like too shitty, and I didn't want to get something that was too over the top, you know what I mean? So I decided to get a simple necklace. It's nothing super duper fancy. It doesn't have like diamonds or anything inside of it or some shit. So since I decided in my head that I need this necklace, that's the only thing that I could think of that is just, you know, kind of worthwhile. It's not too much and it's not too little. It's just nice. It's perfect. Like, great, a necklace. The thing is, I would have actually just asked like, hey, is there anything that they need? But the thing is, if I ask that 2 days out, it's clear that I have no idea what I'm going to be getting. But I didn't want to be that guy, and I was just like, you know what? I got this. So I decided to go out to this mall, okay? And there was this mall that I very rarely went to, but I was just like, hey, it's the closest, I'll just go here. I went into this mall. Like, I got to this mall, and my heart just fell out of my ass, because I thought when I got to this mall that it was just completely closed. That is how little the amount of vehicles there actually were in this parking lot in broad daylight. To be fair, it is a weekday, but a lot of people are on break and all this other stuff. There should be people at a mall. This time I remember, like, this mall was okay. It normally had people in it. I decided to walk up to the door anyway, because I was like, there's no fucking way that this is closed. There's no way. It's the middle of the day. There's no reason these guys will be closed. I opened the door, and yeah, the mall is open. The mall is not closed. It's all good. And I was like, oh, well, maybe, like, a lot of people just don't park on the side that I decided to go in. I went through, like, the west gate or something like that, and I was like, oh, well, maybe people just went into the east gate, right? I go inside, and there are a couple people, like, sitting around. But I think the majority of the cars that were sitting out there were actually people that work inside of this mall, because there are no people. I'm not even exaggerating. I walked through this entire mall. I saw more people in uniform for their jobs than actual customers. And on top of that, 60% of the mall is like vacant. There are no businesses there, and there are no businesses coming in. I feel like if I had gotten a job there, I actually wouldn't be struggling to do my job. No matter what job I actually got there, I would not be struggling whatsoever with the job itself. I would be struggling to actually stay awake. I would be struggling to stay awake in this dead fucking mall. That was actually the quietest mall I have ever been in my entire life. The place is virtually a giant library. Like, even the workers that were there were just like standing outside of their shops just talking to each other. Like, they're not even doing their jobs. They're done. And it's not like they were ready to go on break or something either, because I looked at the times. Like, the time that I was there, these people only would have been working for maybe 2 hours. There's a little like ice cream shop in there. I guess it was like a Dairy Queen or something. This guy looked miserable sitting behind the counter. He's sitting in a chair behind the counter, just like looking over top of it. Like, it's like he's sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? He just just looked sick and tired of everything. I walked by, looked at him, I did like the head nod thing, and he didn't even nod back. He was just like, fuck everything. How are you a sad person working in such a bright environment that is a Dairy Queen? The logo's bright, it's got ice cream and shit. You have ice cream at your disposal just sitting in front of you. It's like this guy has worked there for like 40 years already, even though the guy was like relatively young, like around my age. He looked like it anyway. Looked like he had been working that shit for literally 40 years. He's just sick and tired of it. He's just sitting there alone. That was the most miserable ice cream man I have ever seen. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to be like all like energetic and shit like that, because I get it, you know, day to day, it's getting towards the end of the week, you're just sick and tired of like, you know, being away from your family or friends or whatever it is, just to be dragged out to this place. But if you guys saw the look, the pain in this man's eyeballs, you can see that at some point he was just ready to break. So with me going into this mall, all of these stores are just completely closed down. There were no jewelry stores to get any type of necklace, like no matter what the price, no matter what, there was nothing. There was nothing there. So I was just like, So yeah, now I have one day until I need to find this present, and I guess I'm gonna go out today, go to a different mall that hopefully isn't shut down and filled with a bunch of depressed ice cream workers. I feel extremely bad for everybody that works in that place. It was honestly the most depressing workspace I have ever seen in my life. Honestly, more depressing than my job. Like, at least my job had people in it that actually want to speak to each other and feel like being a human. These guys were just emotionless sheep. Miserable. It's so bad, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys actually made a YouTube channel just to bitch about their job like I did. So yeah, like I said, the plan is to just go out to another mall that I hope is just not run down like that, and yeah, wish me luck.